enhancing monitoring and reporting systems, and expanding the use of climate budget tagging. It's a relatively new term, but Bangladesh has developed this very efficiently. The finance division is going through this. Is it okay? The second priority is mobilizing climate finance at scale. Bangladesh has demonstrated leadership through the creation of Bangladesh Climate Development Platform. It's a unique platform and the first of its kind, which is a country-driven, a country-led, multi-tier partnership program, along with the development partners. You know, we have challenges, major challenges when it comes to climate financing. So through this platform, through this platform, it will be easier for us to tackle the climate finance challenge issues, and it will also enable us to do proper coordination among the different agencies, ministries, and relevant stakeholders. It will also ensure transparency. You know that at present, there are duplication and overlapping of different projects taken up by different ministries. But through the establishment of this BCDP, this duplication could be avoided along. And I would say that it can be a role model across the globe. The third priority is integrating climate resilience across all areas of national development, well aligned with our national priorities, such as National Adaptation Plan, the updated NDCs, and the Delta Plan as well, Delta Plan 2100. We need to highlight on the climate resilient related projects, and it should also be a bankable projects. We have to take up bankable projects, and through this BCDP, it would be easier to get this done. Develop partners such as this support could take the form of technical cooperation on renewable energy, nature-based solutions. It is very important, nature-based solutions, clean energy, rainwater harvesting. It's a new concept in our country, but we are moving on very smoothly with it. Whether in agriculture, coastal defense, water resource management, urban planning, or the transition to clean energy, climate considerations must be embedded to support Bangladesh's long-term climate resilient growth. UK can play an important role in advancing these priorities. The UK can also advocate internationally for increased adaptation funding and accessible loss and damage finance for countries most vulnerable to the climate impacts, including Bangladesh. By aligning more closely with the Bangladesh National Adaptation Plan and its nationally determined contributions, the partnership can help deliver priority climate projects, strengthen the BCDP as a central mechanism for climate finance, and invest in systems such as climate budget tagging and integrated climate data platforms that support transparent, effective implementation. You will be glad to know that the first board meeting of the BCDP has been held in the Chief Advisor's office with our Principal Secretary as the chair. And through this first board meeting, some major recommendations came up. If properly implemented, it will help us a lot to carry forward our implementation projects. Ultimately, the aim is to build a partnership focused on delivery, one that helps Bangladesh transform climate ambition into concrete action while advancing a resilient, sustainable development pathway. Thank you so much. Thank you all.
Your points about the trust and reliability that are the bedrock of our relationship, your points on the innovation that Bangladesh is bringing in climate finance, in cross-government integration, in the climate platform are all really well made. And thank you for your clarity also of your asks going forward of our partnership. That was extremely useful. Sir, I know that you can be with us for a short while longer, but you may need to leave as you are required. A short video that Care Bangladesh have put together for us, which I think will be excellent. And afterwards, if you have any questions, Joy from Care Bangladesh, do you want to just wave your hand, Joy, is here. So any questions on the video and the program, we will have time afterwards. Catch him in the foyer and you can catch that up. So over to the video. Thank you very much.
Bangladesh is one of the most vulnerable countries in the world to the risks of climate change. According to the Global Risk Index 2025, Bangladesh ranks prominently among the most at-risk nations. The increasing frequency of cyclones, floods, droughts, and salinity has put people's lives and livelihoods to a tough test, and biodiversity also faces a serious threat. The Sundarbans, the world's largest mangrove forest, lies in Bangladesh, protecting the country's southwest coast from cyclones and tidal surges every day. However, due to the effects of climate change, the Sundarbans itself is now at risk. Excessive salinity is causing fish and aquatic plants in the rivers, canals, marshes, and reservoirs to disappear. Species such as the stingray fishes, shaplapata, shankar, and kajuli are on the verge of extinction. Various tree species, including Sundari, Heritiera fomes, and Gewa, Excocaria agaloca, are also being lost. On the other hand, in the northeast of the country lies the extensive Haur, a unique wetland. This Haur region reduces the risk of floods by holding excess rainwater, but sudden and prolonged flooding is causing silt to build up, reducing its depth. As a result, fish like chitol, pabda, and shoal, and plants like hijol, koroch, and dholkolmi are slowly disappearing. The people of the Sundarbans and Haur regions are finding their own ways to adapt to climate change. Some are building sustainable livelihoods, while others are turning to nature-based solutions. Despite government and non-government initiatives, the challenges remain immense. Funded by the UK government, the Nabopallab project focuses on protecting biodiversity as well as strengthening community resilience through ecosystem-based, nature-driven, and locally led solutions, marking a systematic shift to fight the dual crisis of climate change and biodiversity loss so that people and nature can thrive together.
Nabopallab in two ecologically critical areas in Bangladesh. The Sundarban, the world's largest mangrove forest, and the Hakaluki Haur, a wetland and a Ramsar site. Ensure ecosystem-based protection and restoration of the two ecologically critical areas. The project is working through 6 key pillars: restoration and protection, climate resilient and nature positive livelihood practices, renewable energy solutions, climate resilient infrastructure and technical know-how, climate resilient water supply and sanitation services, and also climate and weather information services. The project will enhance climate resilience of about 800,000 people and ensure ecosystem-based protection and restoration across 5,000 square kilometers of the two ecologically critical areas.
Utilizing local leadership, the Nabopallab project has completed sustainable land management on 1,848 hectares of land, roadside tree planting and canal re-excavation to protect the biodiversity of the Sundarbans. With the goal of developing climate-resilient and nature-friendly livelihoods, the Nabopallab project has provided 13,311 families with training and advice in agriculture, livestock farming, and fisheries to ensure sustainable livelihoods. In addition, women and low-income families have received opportunities to increase their savings, access credit, and build skills through village savings and loan associations.
আগে তো দিনের বেলা শুধু দিনের বেলা ধরতাম, রাতে তো যেতে পারতাম না, আলো ছিল না, তাইতে যেতে পারতাম না। সোলার দিয়েছে নবপল্লবতে, সোলার দেওয়ার পরে আমি এখন দিনে রাতে জাল ধরতে পারি। আগে যদি আমি 500 টাকা ইনকাম করতে পারতাম, আমি এখন 1000 টাকা ইনকাম করতে পারি।
স্থানীয় সকল জনপ্রতিনিধি, রাজনৈতিক নেতৃবৃন্দ, ধর্মীয় নেতা সহ সকলকে নিয়ে একসাথেই তারা কাজ করছে। প্রকৃতি ও পরিবেশ বাঁচাতে আসলে এই প্রজেক্ট অনেক কাজে আসছে।
Gaji Para, Koira, Kulna, to see the work that the UK government is supporting down in the Sundarbans. I've heard from the community how they've worked together with local government officials and with our project implementing partners organised by Care Bangladesh, and I've seen for myself just what a big difference just a very simple project can have on the lives of the community.
I'm delighted that the Navapolar project, a consortium led by Care Bangladesh with the support of UK government in collaboration with our consortium partners and the British High Commission in Bangladesh, we remain deeply committed to ensure the climate resilience of millions of people who reside in these two critically ecological areas in the country.
Bangladesh is one of the most vulnerable countries.
Well, huge thank you. There you are, there it is. A huge thank you to colleagues in Care Bangladesh for putting together that excellent video. Colleagues, without further ado, what I'd like to do now is invite our panel to join us, and we're very lucky to have the folk that we do. May I start Farah Anzum, who is a youth climate advocate from Bangladesh. Let me just see if I can see. Okay, we will continue. May I ask AKM Sohail, who is the Additional Secretary and Head of International Climate Finance Cell, ERD Ministry of Finance Bangladesh, to take the panel. Thank you very much indeed. And Dr. S.M. Munjrul, who is the Executive Director of NACOM. Thank you, please do join us. It's a huge privilege. And finally, Farah Anzum, who's a youth climate advocate. Please take the floor. Thank you. So colleagues, we have a few minutes, and I'll come and sit with you in a second. We have a few minutes where our faces the building towards lasting and inclusive climate resilience. And what does that mean for the sorts of partnerships both at national level and international going forward? If I may, I'm going to start with you, AKM Sohail, if that's all right, and I'll work down the line. And we'll give you 3 to 4 minutes. Over to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Gerald, for your good question. That Bangladesh, you know, that very climate resilient country. We are indeed vulnerable, one of the most vulnerable, but at the same time we are climate resilient. And we already manifested the climate finance demand for Bangladesh. Need is very clear. As per our NDC, the NAB, the Prosperity Plan, and Delta Plan, our every year the finance gap is $29.29 billion. But we could organize not that much. Certainly we are to, we organize from the shrinked fiscal space because of, you know, that Bangladesh is carrying huge debt. And last year we repaid the $4.77 billion. $1.5 billion we paid for the interest even. So the fiscal space is shrinked, means that government sometimes need to borrow the money from the market. The borrowing cost is getting higher. So the space for the private sector is also getting shrinked. So in this perspective, this is the challenge because, you know, we are very delighted and we are very happy with the FCDO. But till today, FCDO, we are really grateful that more than $300 million, that is absolutely grand. And this sort of grant money we basically want. And we don't want to remain as the very primitive financing mechanism. Say loan and grant, these are the very primitive mechanisms. So we request that we need to explore our own domestic finance. With the help of FCDO and the development partners, we can do that, because I would like to unfold some ideas that what sort of new finance instruments we can introduce in Bangladesh. Because we cannot take loan more, because we are already vulnerable by the nature, and we cannot be vulnerable by the debts, because 16.9 million percent of our revenue generated money we are spending for the repayment. So no more loan. We can tell it, forget and forgive. No more loan. So please come up with the new financing innovative instrument. Say you please come up with the equity investment. You can finance the de-risking mechanism. That is badly needed. If India can generate the $8.26 billion from the mutual funds, why can't we? Rather, as a practitioner, I'm not a academia, I'm not from academia, I'm a bureaucrat. I believe in implementation and action. What I feel, that if India can develop the $8.24 billion from the mutual fund, why can't Bangladesh? So we can do that if basically the gap is not only the finance gap is there, that is the climate literacy gap. So we are very grateful once again that FCDO has taken the initiative to strengthen the International Climate Finance Cell. And from the International Climate Finance Cell, we'll try to mitigate the whole climate literacy gap, and we'll try to craft the new financing mechanism for the private sector. We'll keep the private sector, and we do believe in the whole of government approach. Not only the civil service, whatever the training we are providing, providing the training. The BRAC representative is here. They are with us. We are providing the training for the civil servant, for the NGOs, for the academia, even for our UN colleagues. They also participated. The capital market instrument for the climate financing. These sort of initiatives, one after another, we will be taking, and hopefully FCDO will be with us. Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed for those inspirational words, and I think everyone in this room would support your belief in implementation and action, and thank you for showing ways in which we can innovate. If I may come to Dr. S.M. Munchural, who's the Executive Director of NACOM.
Is working. Let me take this opportunity to thank UK government and UK peoples. UK is the oldest trusted friend of Bangladesh. From the day one, UK is supporting Bangladesh to develop the country and to help the vulnerable community. From there, the UK is still supporting Bangladesh, and also UK would like to extend their support not only for the government, also for the community people, for the youth, for the indigenous people, for fishermen community, for student, for women. So it's a diverse support that actually helping the country to stand and to act the demand for the community. In particular, the UK government supporting very vulnerable community in many vulnerable areas like Haur, Baur, coastal area. If I give you statistics, 38% coastal community people can access the safe drinking water. So that means the 62% community in the coastal area are out of the safe drinking water. And that actually create burden on our women, because mainly the women providing the all support to bring the water from 2-3 kilometers away from their home for their drinking purpose and for their cooking purpose. So there's this kind of support, the support you are providing through development partnership. I think this is very important for the country. And at the same time, I would like to request the UK government, when you are supporting the government institutions, think of the supporting the local community through community-based projects, through nature-based solution, and also try to hold the government to accountable to the vulnerable community, so that all the profits or all the benefits goes to the community people, because the community people are the most sufferer and most suffering in the country for the climate change. So particularly for the climate change, this would be very good. And for the financial purpose, I would like to say this is the opportunity for Bangladesh, because this is the things are means of implementation. We are talking about the strategy, we are talking about the action plan, we have all these things, but the end of the day, we need a means of implementation. So finance is the means of implementation along with knowledge, capacity building, and technology. So we need this kind of support, basically facilitating the whole spectrum of development. So this is, I think UK government will continue to support this kind of venture for ourselves. Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed, Dr. Manjara. Thank you for absolutely emphasizing the central place of people and understanding their vulnerabilities in this discussion, and for linking that together. Farah, I'll now come to you, if I may. Please do offer us some reflections from your perspective as a youth climate advocate. You are very welcome indeed. Thank you.
First of all, thank you so much. And honestly, it's an honor to share this panel with my stars who have been guiding me over the years, and all of you, because I know you have guided us through all the years, what to do with youth, how to do with youth, and how to be in this space. So today, when I am sharing this panel, I'm grateful to all of these people who have provided other space. So that's one. So just going to the conversation of youth's meaningful participation, let me first highlight a bit of very great news. So this year in COP, our Bangladesh delegation has provided the highest number of badges to the youths who are working as a shadow negotiator, and our major government delegations have been supporting them to mentor, to learn the negotiation process, and to be with them. So it has been a very big step, and we absolutely welcome this with our full heart. So with that note, of course, now if we come to talk about a bit about the barriers we have, I'd like to mention 3 major barriers. First, we talk about the structural and institutional barrier we have. We know in Bangladesh, almost we have 48 million of youths, but if you look into this climate space negotiation, maybe you will see barely less than 1% who are in this space. So even though there is so much youth and so many youths, we are not a part of this. So this is a very big problem. Also in terms of knowledge management and capacity, there has been many initiatives where youths have been taking into many ad hoc trainings, mentorship, and everything to be into the diplomacy space. But how long-term are these advocacy spaces are, and how much we have been learning over the years. So this is also another concern. And finally, even though we have, I would say we have improved and advanced a lot, yet there is a notion that youths have been seen more as a tokenism in many cases, but not as a part of the whole change-making process. So there are barriers. Now, if we move to how Bangladesh and UK partnership have been helping, so recently the government to do small projects with the funding. So they showcase how they have many different and versatile ideas to solve many climate issues and problems. It actually showcases how powerful those ideas are, but oftentimes they are very much limited because we don't have that resources. Youths don't have that resources. So that was a very big space. And also many of the youths, we got to meet with people who were working in many different sectors. So British High Commission helped that to make that space. So now, in terms of how you can help us, so definitely the first thing and every youth I'm sure would love to say that we would need more leadership program support. We want the government to help us to be in this space more. There are many beautiful and practical ideas youths have been creating from the local to the national level, but we don't have the resources to make it scale. So we also need that support from the UK government to make it real. We talk about a lot on green skills, entrepreneurships, but how that will happen. We cannot just talk about ideas. We know COP30 is the implementation COP, but how much implementation can we do back in my country? So we need your help in there. So there are some of the factors that we definitely like to talk about. And if you ask me from the youth perspective, what's our expectations from COP30? We definitely advocate for higher climate finance, especially the adaptation finance. I know that youths are very much following the global goal on adaptation to be finalized. We are really focusing on just energy transition program. And finally, youth inclusion, and we want that we have that space. And also we want the youth to be defended from the global south, because we know there are many youth advocates and activists, but they face a lot of risk and they always cannot be into the policy diplomacy space. So with all this, I'd like to conclude my speech, and thank you so much for giving me the floor.
Farah, thank you. It's a real privilege to have you on the panel. Congratulations to Bangladesh for the number of passes to youth. That's a fantastic thing, and we share many of the same aspirations that you hold. Now, colleagues, in a moment we are going to go and do some Q&A, so very happy. Have a think about questions you might want to be asking our esteemed panel. At this point, our special representative, the UK's special representative for climate, Rachel Kite, was due to be here. Unfortunately, just before the event, she was called away to brief ministers who are at the moment in a ministerial huddle. So you're going to have to bear with me, because what I would like to do, if this is okay with you, is to deliver to you the speech that she would have delivered, because I would like you to hear the words that she wanted to give to you all as she reflected on that subject. So I will just give that speech. What we'll then do is we'll open up for Q&A, and I've got a couple more questions for our esteemed panel, and we will let go from there. So hold on one second. Thank you. And I'm going to give Rachel's speech from here, if I may, colleagues, because it is that much easier. So it's a privilege where it's needed most. This year's COP, as we've already said, rightly places a strong emphasis on resilience, finance, and inclusive climate solutions, things that our colleagues have already talked about. So thank you, panel. Priorities that are very deeply embedded in the UK-Bangladesh climate partnership. So I think we're seeing that come through. As we've already acknowledged, Bangladesh is one of the most climate vulnerable countries in the world. Its people face rising sea levels, increasingly severe cyclones, and the degradation of vital ecosystems. And these challenges are not abstract, as we saw on the video. They are lived realities for millions. And yet, again, as we've heard today, Bangladesh has emerged as a global leader in adaptation, in resilience, and inclusive action. It's a country that not only understands the urgency of the climate crisis, but is actively shaping the solutions. And I pay tribute to all of you here today and on the panel that are doing exactly that. Earlier this year, Rachel Kite had the opportunity to meet climate advisor Rizwana Hassan in London. Her leadership and insights were a powerful reminder of Bangladesh's commitment to climate justice and its role as a champion for vulnerable nations. That meeting reaffirmed for Rachel the strength and the depth of the UK-Bangladesh climate partnership, a partnership built on mutual respect, a term we have already heard about, shared ambition, and a deep determination to deliver impact where it matters. Countries, one with deep expertise in climate finance, and the other with first-hand experience of climate vulnerability, and deep expertise themselves in climate finance, natural ecosystems, such as the Sundarbans that we heard about earlier today. And the program that we showcased in the video, Adaptation, is of this collaboration. Through UK support, Bangladesh is strengthening climate resilience in some of its most fragile ecosystems, whilst empowering local communities. This is locally led adaptation in action, grounded in the needs and knowledge of those most effective. I'm also pleased to highlight the new collaboration between the UK Met Office and Bangladesh, which will enhance weather forecasting and early warning systems. This partnership will help communities better prepare for now that the UK is working closely with the government of Bangladesh, particularly with the Ministry of Finance, to help unlock and access more climate finance at a global level and with the government of Bangladesh at the national level. This is essential to meeting adaptation and resilience at scale, which is the mission of our times, and ensuring that Bangladesh could continue to lead by example in delivering locally driven climate solutions. Here at COP30, the global conversation is focused on unlocking and scaling climate finance. We believe the UK-Bangladesh Climate Partnership is a model of what. Through this initiative, we will continue to strengthen climate-related financial disclosure, laying the foundations for long-term systemic change that supports resilient and inclusive growth in Bangladesh. But we all know we have to go further. We must ensure that climate finance is accessible, predictable, and responsive to the needs of the most vulnerable people and the nations that need it most. We must continue to together champion locally led solutions, amplify youth voices, and ensure that our partnerships are inclusive and representative. So for us, today's event is not just on this momentum. Let us use today to reaffirm our shared commitment to climate justice, and let's continue to work together in it. Thank you very much indeed.
Colleagues, I now switch hats, so forgive me, you're hearing rather a lot of me, but I promise not to talk any more than is absolutely necessary. So I'm going to ask each of the panelists a question now, and then I will turn to you in the audience, if I may. And may I start, with you, AKM Sohail. You're the head of the International Climate Finance Cell, ERD. Can you tell us a little bit about how you're working to strengthen national systems for climate finance readiness and transparency as you coordinate across government? Thank you.
Aspirations have been reflected in the space. So, you know, Bangladesh, we already introduced the climate budget tagging in the finance division since 2018, and at the same time we feel that this tagging is not very effective because the monitoring, reporting and verification is needed. So but we started, we can develop it, we can ensure it. So that is why what we feel that CBT 25 ministries are spending the money. And we have some eco-synergy models. Eco-synergy model is, that is not government sector alone is doing the thing. Eco-synergy models say, you know that livestock is one of the sources of methane. Department of Agriculture Extension, Department of Fisheries, Department of Livestock. So at this moment we have taken Department of Livestock, and Ministry is on board. Ministry of Livestock is also with us. The private sector is with us. This part is very identical. And the software, they have the software. So they are providing the software, and it's not very easy all on a sudden, overnight. Nobody can craft the global concept note or the project proposal. What we did, we have given the mentors to them. And this team is completely working with the Ministry of Finance. So this is multi-stakeholder team. So nobody can do any sort of mistrust or misappropriate, because everything is within the knowledge of everyone. And this is the very whole of government approach. And certainly where the development partners will find that the government is there, Ministry of Finance is there, at the same time the implementing department is there, that ministry is there, private sector is there, and some people there developing the capacity, they are also there. Certainly they will be eager to fund the things, because our adaptation funds status is very, very poor, because only 30 2% fund we got for adaptation, and 58 for mitigation, 10% cost cutting. And once again, I would like to say 90% is loan. So adaptation is a question of our life and death. So that's why we crafted this eco synergy, and this capacity building is supported by the FCDO. And we're very grateful for that. And thank you.
Thank you very much indeed. That's a really clear example of the system, the transparency, and the intersectoral work that you're bringing to building resilience in Bangladesh. If I can turn to you, Dr. Muncharal, could you say a little bit more how, from your perspective, NGOs and civil society can be most effectively engaged in design and delivery of locally led adaptation initiatives? Where are you seeing those green shoots and successes, and how do we build upon them? Thank you.
Thank you, Gerald. While NGOs and civil societies are already working with the community, particularly the vulnerable community, they have the first-hand experience of the vulnerability. So if during the design period of the project, if this vulnerable community are involved to design the projects, then the whole projects would be chance of a very high success, because the projects would be designed in a way that could actually bring the benefit to the vulnerable community. So I would like to see when the government is developing a projects for the vulnerable community or for the local community, I think the government need to involve the local community as well as civil society and NGOs, so that all the reflection from the vulnerable community incorporated into the project idea and the concept. So one thing. Second thing, if you involve civil society, NGO in the designing, then the ownership of the projects would be with the community actually. It's not the top-down approach. It will be a bottom-up approach. It will come from the bottom up. So the vulnerable women in coastal area from 2 kilometers away from her home. So if you really want to provide fresh water to the vulnerable community, they can also provide you the solution, how you can do that. And the problem lies with the community, they have also the local solution. So if you involve the community, you can also have the local innovative solution. We are talking about the nature-based solution. Nature-based solution expert has a different dimension than the community people, because the community people are facing this or using this nature-based solution on a daily basis in order to face the risk or mitigate the risk and to ensure their livelihood. So this civil society, NGOs, local community, vulnerable groups, indigenous people, local youth groups need to be involved, not during the implementation. They need to be involved from the development of the projects.
Just a minute. I would like to take the privilege that we are going to showcase the locally led adaptation champion project in Bangladesh Pavilion on 20th at 12 p.m. I request all of you to join over there to understand how Bangladesh became champion to implement the locally led adaptation. That championship is given by Global Center for Adaptation. Thank you.
There is always room for an advert in the session, so thank you, and that will be an excellent session. I'll do my best to come to it. Farah, in terms of improving the engagement of young people.
Interesting question. Do you want me to be the queen of UK or Bangladesh?
You get to choose both.
Okay. In terms of, okay, first let me get into UK. I think first of all, I will try to fulfill all of the asks that we made to you. So it could be the support to the Bangladesh people, that would be one. And of course, I think the most important thing, the crisis we see into the climate space, it's actually that we have been seeing a lot of hurdles from honestly, from US side and many other people, many right-hand groups. So we will make sure that our good friends, countries like UK and many European nations, we have more allies with you, we have more strength and partnership so that we can actually fight back the crisis we're seeing today. So that's another thing. And third, I would say, we have been seeing the rise of nationalism in the whole world. We have to build this trust. We have to build trust on multilateralism. We have to make this friendship more stronger. So I would say that's the three major priority I like to advocate for, and I like to work towards it. So yes.
Thank you for such an excellent answer and reflecting on the context. And you can be a queen of either country, in my view. So thank you. Colleagues, I'm going to just invite anyone from the audience that might like to ask a question to our colleagues. I can see a couple of hands already. I'm going to start at the back. When you do ask the question, may I ask that you introduce yourself? And ideally, if you have somebody on the panel that you would particularly to answer the question, point it at them. Thank you very much.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Saqib Haq. I'm from the International Center for Climate Change and Development. We're a think tank based both in the UK and in Bangladesh, so this is a very timely event for us to be here. Thank you for having us. Mine's more our remarks rather than just questions to the panel. So following from some of the talks that Farah and Munjur sir had mentioned, it's really, really timely that we're talking about this type of bilateral collaborations because we're really seeing that missing in a lot of this space. But then what does that mean for doing it at an event here at the COP when we're really talking about multilateralism, about unilateralism? So I think one of the things that rather than a question, but a recommendation for both Bangladesh and the UK is to be able to use platforms like this collaboration that we're fostering here, and bring others into this space. Really bring in some of the funders that the UK has really good networks with, but also the Global South partnerships that the Bangladesh has very good networks with, and organizations, many represented in this room, that have links across the LDCs and SIDS, being able to foster that as a platform. And regardless of what happens in the plenaries, when we talk about what are the big funding asks, at least these types of multilateral spaces can be something that we foster together. And just one last bit on terms of the capacity building work that we've been doing. So we've been supporting a number of the youth on the panels coming in, on the delegations as well, particularly in the Bangladesh delegation. And one of the things is not how many of them are here. It is how many of them are sustained in the negotiations, becoming junior negotiators, leading a negotiation track, and then becoming a senior negotiator within the LDC group and within the other thematic areas. That's really the part of the work that we are trying to build. So again, it's very, very grateful that you're talking about long-term sustained capacity, because capacity building is not a one-off event for one COP and one SB. It's about doing it year on, throughout the year, and what are the different networks that we can build with that. So happy to help and support on that. Thank you, Gerard.
Thank you. That's excellent comment. And your point about how we leverage the depth and the spread of this partnership to take to other places is important. And thank you also for that comment on a talent pipeline of Bangladesh so that the future is increasingly shaped in that sense. So there's a colleague at the front here. Thanks so much.
Can I just ask you to speak in like this?
Of course. Hello, this is more a word of gratitude and appreciation rather than a question. I'm Max, and I not only have the privilege of being a UK national, but I also work for Friendship NGO, who's a very happy partner in the Nabapalap project alongside CARE and the FCDO, and we contribute to climate smart infrastructure and solar solutions. Friendship was recently awarded the Earthshot Prize for Fix Our Climate for its integrated climate adaptation model. And we're really happy to be part of projects like this, to share this recognition with all of Bangladesh rather than just the organization. So thank you very much.
Thank you and congratulations on the prize, and thank you for your efforts into the program. One more question. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. I'm Nandan Mukherjee. I represent the University of Dundee in Scotland. This is not a question, rather an urge. We came to this COP with a big hope that it will be the implementation COP. And I'll echo with the statement provided by our distinguished delegates and panelists that finance is one of the most critical areas where we need support for implementation. But we must not forget about the other critical need, which is knowledge. Without knowledge, we can't implement the solution at the pace we need now. I know we all know these buzzwords that we don't have a planet B, but the problem is whether we care about the urgency, the time frame that we have right now to implement all these solutions. And from UK universities, I would like to affirm our firm commitment again that previously we used to see that the knowledge flow would be from global north to global south, but it's not anymore like that. Bangladesh is one of the amazing champions on resilience and how we can implement locally led solutions. So UK universities are learning a lot from Bangladesh now. So my request to FCDO that what they have been doing since the very independence of this amazing nation should continue to support knowledge and definitely with resources. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much indeed, Professor. And as a Glasgow resident, I'm very pleased to hear from somebody from Dundee. Thank you very much. Any other questions? Great, thank you. Please introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Ijaz Ahmed. I am the founder of the Bangladesh Youth Leadership Center. We provide leadership training to young people. And my comment, Gerard, I know you were part of organizing COP26, and between COP26 and COP30, there are at least 4 companies in the world, all AI driven, whose market cap is 4 times of the UK's GDP. That is where the world is headed. And my concern is for a country like Bangladesh, where the median age is 27, there's a large segment of young people. Unless we prepare them with technology, with AI, and the intersection between AI and climate change, I think we'll be missing out. Therefore, whatever intervention that the UK is thinking in terms of adaptation or mitigation needs to have a component of technology and AI to empower young people and to prepare them for a world where AI agents will be working in the workplace. It's not tomorrow, it's happening today, and we have to engage our young people in this conversation. Thank you.
Thank you, an excellent comment. Any last comments? I'm going to turn back to our panelists for some reflections, if not. I would also, just on a personal note, I am the UK board member for the Fund for Responding to Loss and Damage. And of course, I would just like to pay tribute to Professor Salim, who really brought all that about. So Bangladesh will always remain a true leader in my heart in that sense as well. Gentleman there in the green for the last question, then panel members, I will turn to you.
Hello everyone. So we are from Notre Dame College.
Very close, please. Very, very close.
I would like to thank Bangladesh government and UK government for arranging a session like this. So my suggestion would be like empowering youth. I have seen throughout the session that many facilities have been providing to the youth to empower them to the natural awareness. But I think for empowering the youth, working with the educational institutions in Bangladesh would be a great choice, where the youths can empower themselves and as well as their parents, their teachers, and they can spread the awareness among different education institutions, among their friends, to empower the youth. So it will be a request for us from Bangladesh government and UK government too, to empower the youth at educational level, educational institutions like high school, college, even the schools. Like we have seen different children have been working with the environment closely. So it will be better for us for empowering the youth in educational institution level, like different clubs, in nature clubs. We have different nature clubs in different educational institutions. So if we can empower them or work with them, so we can spread a very big empowerment among the students of Bangladesh. So it's a request from us to Bangladesh government and educational institutions like in UK too.
Thank you very much indeed for that request, and this mic will come on in a moment if I keep talking. It doesn't seem it is working. That's fine. It just needs to be switched on. Thank you very much indeed. And the young people of Bangladesh are a considerable asset. I'm trying to do it like a singer. You're absolutely right. So colleagues, we're coming to the end of this panel. We've had actually, he's just stepped away for a moment, but Majan, who's here, there. Thank you very much. From the British High Commission in Dhaka, he will be reporting back to Sarah Cook, the High Commissioner, and our colleagues there of this conversation and feeding it further into the partnership that we have. But I'm just going to ask the panel to offer Majan, a guidance that you would like to see him reporting back to Sarah Cook and to our teams back in Bangladesh. So if I can start with you, please, and we'll work down the line.
Okay, thank you. But I would like to say, in reflection of his comment, that is, for the first time, Bangladesh government has taken the initiative to send the youth climate leaders, activists, and they are not to roam around for nothing. They are assigned with the professional negotiators, and they are embedded. So this is how we have taken care that our future leadership will be the FCDO, and one of the very important component of our activities will be the sensitize and literate and develop the climate lens of our young generation. And certainly AI will be everywhere. Without AI, we cannot move forward. Without it has to be generative AI, but AI must be there. Thank you.
Thank you. Do feel free to comment on any of the questions we go down.
Thank you, Gerald. It's not a comment. After retirement of a very big country from climate change negotiation, I see UK has the most big responsibility to continue and to provide support climate vulnerable countries like Bangladesh and others. And I see a lot of responsibility lies with Marjan and his boss, Sarah Cook, as well as the Rachel Kite and the Minister of UK to continue this support to Bangladesh so that our vulnerability can be addressed properly and we can help our vulnerable community.
Thank you very much indeed. And just to absolutely recognize, we see this as a partnership of mutual benefit, learning together as we face uncertain futures. So, Farah, over to you.
Thank you so much. I think these are the last few words. I'd just like to mention that we have grown up seeing that UK have been one of the very good friends of our country. And we hope and we expect your support will continue. And as a representative from the whole youth from our country, we promise we won't fail you. We will prove ourselves and we'll make sure that the Global South have very powerful voices that we can fight back and we can work together. So that's from my side. Thank you.
Colleagues, with that, can I just invite a round of applause for the brilliant panel and their efforts? Thank you. And thank you also for coming and for gracing the UK Pavilion this afternoon. I hope you go well. Have a very good evening. Thank you.